Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 186 of Trials and Trebuchets. I'm your overheated dungeon master, and joining me are my overheated players, whose names are...
Yeehaw! My name is Ben, and I play the level 10 Gnome Wizard Wallaby, along with his cunning little companion, Mr. Wiggles.
Meow!
Sounds like a bullet.
It's like NASCAR.
Howdy! It's me, Carla, and I play the level 10 Tiefling Roguelike, level 7 Rogue, level 3 Warlock, Integrity Idleberry. Yeehaw!
Howdy, everyone. My name is Sarah. I thought Carla was going to do a damn intro there. Sorry about that. I play Mira Marchand, the level 10 half-elf bard. And today I'm here reporting for my blog, Thrifty Boy. For those of you looking for great deals, I found one today. This guy just gave me his crib for free. So if you want more free furniture, check out Artist Artisan's cottage in the middle of the woods.
Well, hi there. My name's Sam, and I play the level 10 human sorcerer, Sayonartis Enderman. If you need someone to clean up your sad, depressing fucking house, I'm here to help you.
I would love that! And last time on Trials and Trebuchets, the students, Saranep, Mira, Integrity, and Winsler, in case you didn't know, visited their mentor's home. That's Artist Artisan, again, in case you didn't know, filled him in on the moon deets, then, the next morning, or later, learnt his travel plans into the Adriatic, where he would be and when, and in case he went missing, who they could phone to see if they had his body. They then poked around in his shed, and Integrity Idleberry, a wonderful warlock, told them all about a grim dream that she had of the progenitor killing people in the hatch. And generally was a bit courageous about it, gained comfort from her friends, and then they left and poked around Artis's other things, spending the couple of days before the semester started here at the Artesian Cottage. So, friends, gathered here with me to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
Calm down. I ask of you, my wonderful level 10 players, well, players who have level 10 characters, which one of you wants to show us a scene of the skill which you have acquired, the feat which you have acquired with your level 10 level up? Because we haven't mentioned it yet, but every single one of you got a feat, and being here at Artis's Cottage for the week, I thought it would be a fun idea to show and do scenes to show what those would be.
I will need
Ben.
Saranep Cinderman for mine. I'm putting that out there
okay.
now.
Yes, absolutely. Ben, you look very excited.
I
You
am
were,
so
like,
excited for
jubilant?
this. So, okay.
Yeah.
So I think Winsler would probably be helping Artist with, carrying his books around, making sure that they're all
Yes.
organized and stuff. And I think comes to a situation where he's carrying too many.
Okay, yeah, you are walking around in the main floor. He's putting books upon books. He's gone to the archives like 2 or 3 times now, just getting more and more books on giants and such things, and is stacking them with you gently on these crates in the corner. There's quite a few of them, Winsler, and there's a leaning tower of sorts of books.
So I'm going to go pick up the Tower of Books and see if I can do it all in one go.
Oh, of course. Winsler Wallaby, the rest of the 3 of you are all sitting around in this main chamber of the Artist Artesian Cottage. Winsler, make an athletics check for
This
me.
is the one time where I want to roll low. Are you
20,
fucking
20,
kidding me?
20, 20, 20,
I
20,
hate
20,
this game. 17.
You all see Winsler show a surprising amount of physical, athletic ability. Gnomish of him, almost, as he
Only
picks
applies to books.
as he picks up this big pile of books and begin to move it out of the way. Winsler, as you do so, Artist will say, "Oh, wait, Winsler, wait 1 second, take this one too," and without turning to look at you, will kind of toss it to you,
Oh, no.
and you all see, almost in slow motion, Winsler carrying this stack of books, almost like 12 books high, taller than he will ever be in his entire life. And you see a smaller, leather-bound little journal thing just smack him in the back of the head as he topples to the ground.
Oh,
And I think as a Winsler falls face first into like the pile of books on the ground.
Yes.
Like as he impacts, he just vanishes. like a
Just
Oh,
a little silent pop, and Winsler is gone.
What? Where? Winsler?
where did you?
Ow.
Winsler, where are you? Oh shit.
What was that?
That hurt.
You hear his voice emanating from a terrible empty space.
I'm right here. And like the books are like moving and shuffling around. He's trying to like pick himself up, and it's just very
Yes.
ominous.
It's just so much books. You slip and slide through the different assorted books. Everyone give me a title for one of these fucking books in Giant as Winslow slips and slides and pushes them all around. Maybe destroying some of them. Who's to say?
Bingo's best birthday.
Warbler Wayne's Wacky Wizarding Wards.
Storm Giants? What happened to them?
Very straightforward. That one gets ripped into 19 different pieces
Holy
as
shit.
Winslow slips on it.
Jedine's groundskeeping and garden maintenance.
Perfect. Winslow, you slip and slide through all these books, and you can find your footing eventually. You are invisible, though. You can tell us what the feat is, or you can carry on playing around with your friends.
I'll play around with my friends for a little bit longer.
Okay, perfect.
So Winsler is like looking around, and he's very confused as to why everybody is sort of like wondering where he is, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm right here. Is something wrong?
Well, where?
You.
Right here.
Okay, Marco.
Polo.
Serenith reaches her arm out towards
Marco?
the space where the books were. Just like, I just want to see
Yes.
what happens.
Okay, now are you like doing it while you're standing? So you're just like,
I assume Serenith understands that you are a short little gnome.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
like-
don't think that they would just reach out as a zombie would.
Like, they're, like, reaching
presumably
down-
sitting down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like there's like a
Um,
seat like right next to where you fell, and I'm just like,
You
oh,
see a
let me
long,
reach out and like.
an inordinately sized human arm stretching out towards you, Winsler, almost going to bump you in the face.
I'm trying to find him, I guess.
Winsler's gonna sidestep to the right a little bit, and he's like, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I saw the books moving around. I thought maybe you were invisible or something, but I can't. I don't
Maybe
think
I
you're.
am.
Try smacking my hand. I don't know where you are.
I'm gonna lightly tap Sereneth's arm.
Okay.
Okay.
And does that make you visible?
It should, yeah.
Okay.
I
Winsler-
have an idea.
Winsler pops back into visibility. Integrity screams, I have an idea. What would you like to do?
As soon as just right before Winsler
Yes.
appears, I'm gonna throw flour.
Integrity cracks a bag of flour onto the ground. Dust fills the air. You all cough. It's in your eyes. It's in your noses.
Oh,
Winsler, and it's all on your clothes and everything,
Aw.
dusting you all.
What was that for?
I was trying to make you appear. I did not know. You're back.
Oh, the poor books, as Artis hunches over and starts to dust off the mini books that Winsler has tread upon and ripped the covers off of.
I'm sorry.
okay. When did you start being able to cast that spell?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I didn't cast anything.
So, okay, so you got hit by a book and you turned invisible?
Maybe it was some sort of like negative reaction to pain.
We've had weirder things happen from physical contact with books.
It's
That's true.
That's true.
Very true. So, Winsler, or Ben, what
Mhm.
feat has Winsler taken for level 10?
So there are a lot of feats that I was very interested in, but the one that I picked was called Fade Away, which is specifically for gnomes. Basically, if Winsler now takes any sort of damage, I can use a reaction to basically turn him invisible until he does something on his turn or like after his turn ends, basically, when it comes around. So it's
Perfect.
very silly and fun.
A small cat sitting near the table, like lounging on the soft ground of Artis's house, looks at you standing there, now visible. Mr. Wiggles will say, "It's so unfair that you can just turn invisible. You're not even sneaky normally. It's wasted on you."
I mean, I didn't ask to be turned invisible when I got slapped in the back of the head with a book. I don't ask for a lot of things, and it just seems to happen.
You know, that's a little bit worrying, because what if something hit you so hard that you, pass out, and we can never find you, because then you're just invisible and unconscious?
Well, I mean, it's not like he's being teleported. Like, he stayed in the same spot. So, I mean, I guess if that happens, we just kind of check the area for...
Okay, just for you, Winsler, I always bring a bag of flour for me.
Why?
Just bring like chalk or something, or to like have it magically happen that whenever
Make an outline of where he's
Winsler
lying down.
Yeah, whenever he gets downed while he's invisible, just have like the body outline on the ground.
And so you all can, if you wanted, assist artists in picking up these books, undusting them from Integrity's giant bag of flour. I assume it's a 10-kilo bag of flour that you just smashed on the ground, just really let it rip.
Don't worry, prestidigitation will help clean that up.
Wonderful. That's Winsler. Who would like to go next? Set the scene for us, if you would like.
Mira.
Sure,
did
I'm
you
down.
Want to?
Totally.
I know that you said you needed
I need Sayonartis Cinderman for this.
Yes. So it doesn't have to be right after this or following this other scene as the kind of disconnected little anthology, but please paint a wonderful word picture for us all.
Yeah, I imagine that Mira's she can't help too much with lifting the heavy things, but she's probably helping to organize little knickknacks into nice shapes and little Tetrising the boxes. And she's taking a little bit of a break from that. And I think that she is sitting in the backyard and she's just like practicing her mage hand. She's just letting the hand appear, disappear again, curl its fingers. And I think that she sees Sayonartis nearby and she's like, "Hey, Sayonartis, what's up?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I ask for your help with something?"
Oh, yeah, sure. How can I help?
Well, okay, it's just I was practicing some of my magic here as a break, and okay, this might be a weird question. But you know how to like change your magic, right? Like I've seen you cast fire spells and like turn them into ice and stuff. Like, how do you do that? How do you do that with your spells? Because that's like totally different.
I'm trying to think of how the instructor explained it. It's sort of like the different elements of magic has a certain kind of feeling in your chest when you're about to cast it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what she kind of taught us is that we are kind of in control of that feeling. So for instance, sometimes what I'll do is I'll change magic to a different element, and what you're kind of doing is you're sort of, I guess it's kind of like it's a type of meditation to like kind of change it and then let it flow from your body in this new natural way.
Okay, it's kind of like a key change then.
Yeah,
that sort of makes sense to me. That kind of makes sense. Hey, Sayonartis, just out of curiosity, because I know that you've felt this way in the past, do you still feel like it's all on you to like keep us all safe, like me and Integrity and Winsler and everyone?
You guys like to ask me very strong questions sometimes, I've noticed.
You don't have to answer. I was just curious.
I guess it's less of a feeling that I have to, and I guess it's more of a feeling that I need to. Like, I care about you guys. You guys care about me. It makes sense in my head that I would go above and beyond to, try and make sure that you're okay. And in cases where I'm not able to help in that way, to at least try and stop what's hurting you, whether emotionally, physically. I don't know. I just really care about you guys.
Yeah, no, I get that. And listen, you're super tough and good at that stuff, so like I wouldn't worry too much. I really want to get better at healing so that I can kind of help everyone at once. Like, okay, in that fight, when Integrity was down, there was a moment where I had to heal someone, and I could either heal me or her, and I didn't have time to get to both of us. And I healed myself so that if she died, I could bring her back, but then she got hit, and she was so close to dying, and I don't want to have to make choices like that anymore. Like, you are so tough, and you're always, like, you're hurting our enemies so much, and you're, like, keeping us all safe, and I know what it's like to feel like that burden is all on you, and I would like to get better at healing so that we can share that burden a little bit, and so we can all take care of ourselves. Is it okay if you help me practice magic for a little bit because I want to do it a little more like how you do it.
When you ask that question, there's like a little like sparkle in her eyes of like, oh my gosh, I'm helping. Like,
Yeah.
I would be more than happy to help you with any sort of training you want to work on. I know that, like, I know I was an advanced student when we first started, but like, you guys have done so much to be at the same level as me. Maybe there's some like studying tips, you know, to like, I realize the way I said that doesn't sound great, but I mean, like,
No, I get it. I get what you meant. Don't worry.
but yeah, I would love
Let's
to help
just-
you.
Practice together sometime this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Wonderful. So, Mira, Sarah.
Yes.
What feat did you take? I think
Mira
you're-
has taken the feat, I think it's from Tasha's Meta Magic Adept, which basically means that Mira has now 2 sorcery points, and she can
Yes.
use 2 forms of Meta Magic. And so Mira is now able to use Twin Spell, so she'll only be able to do this for level 2 spells and below, but if a spell only targets 1 creature, she can make it target 2 creatures. And then Subtle Spell, which means that she can make a spell not require any verbal or somatic components. So she could cast something like Detect Thoughts, for example, without anybody being able to see that she's doing it.
Very, very handy. And so, what does the, like, a montage of, like, Sayonartis helping Mira to learn these skills, what does that look like?
What does that look like?
Rigorous physical activity session.
I imagine
Cast a spell! Cast it
I
again!
imagine
Cast
that-
it again! Do it right! Do it right!
if I can kind of hop in
Yeah.
because of the discussion of like it's kind of like meditation. I think Sarah might bring out a couple of pillows one day and like
Absolutely.
kind of just like sit
You
down
pull
with Mira.
the nice ones out of one of the crates that are like ready to get sent off and sold to someone. You pull them out, you bring them out onto the snowy deck, and you guys can sit there in the cold and really meditate, take it all in.
Hell yeah.
like the cold would actually help with it. So
Wonderful. So you just meditate together for a few hours, learning the feelings, and like feeling in a different way, Mira, because normally you channel your magic, this arcane magic, through an instrument, but now channeling it almost like through yourself as an instrument and changing it, changing the feeling and almost like the pattern of how it's traveling to your instrument itself before it actually leaves your form and enters the world as a wonderful magical effect. Thank you to Integrity, Sayonartis. Do you all have a let's do Integrity Idleberry. Integrity Idleberry, please tell us, set the scene for us, narrate what I presume to be a Rocky-style training montage for us.
So Integrity is going to you see Integrity walking into the shed and grabbing like one of the other sticks that
Yes.
Sayonartis did not grab. I forgot like which one it was specifically.
It's one with like a little deer head, I think I described.
Yep.
Okay. So she grabs that and sort of around the tree, like just pretending to be hitting it, but not like hitting it because she doesn't want to damage the tree and break
course.
the
Of course.
the cane.
Around in the trees,
And then-
the crows gather to watch you at work.
And then all of a sudden, there's like sparkle in her eyes, had an idea, and she runs towards the window of like Artis's house.
Yes.
Hello, does anyone there want to cast magic and get hurt?
I like to cast magic, not so much about the getting hurt part, but
what are you doing?
I can try to not hurt you, but yeah.
Integrity's
Come-
like, you see the like tip of her face peeking up through the window, the horns casting a large shadow through it. Winslow, you can scoot outside to join her. The rest of you can like stand on the deck and watch if you'd like.
Should we do something?
I mean, if he gets hit, he's gonna turn invisible. Apparently, so I mean,
Let's just see
I
what
guess-
happens.
yeah.
I sip some lemonade.
Yes.
I have like a bag of popcorn that I'm
all
like
right,
sharing between the three of us.
I think I'm ready.
Winslow
Okay, Winslow.
stands in the field, not
So-
looking physically capable of defending himself.
Here's the thing. I am so tired of, just being that person in the group who's just like stab, 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 fight, 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 but not really helping with like magic. And I'm just so sick of that. And with the mage from like our last fight being able to cast a bunch of spells and me not really being able to do anything, I was just like attacking the big scary monster. I want to be able to sort of like feel magic around me and hurt people. So
Windsor starts sweating a little bit.
You see
Here's
the
what I need
ferocity
from
in her eyes, Winsler.
here's what I need from you, Winsler. And don't worry, there's a 5 gold coin compensation for this, and I'll give that to you.
All right.
I want you to cast like some kind of magic, and I'll be like within 5 feet of you, and as soon as you cast that magic and I feel that magic in the air, I'm going to try and hit you. But I'm not going to hit you because I have self-control. I'll probably just like react super fast and like hit you like just like tap on the shoulder or something like that. You know?
All right.
Do you consent to this?
Sure, I guess I'll consent to this.
Perfect.
So like if anything bad happens to you, like you can get mad at me, but you can't hate me for it.
I think that's gonna go pretty
Artis
well.
is standing on the deck with you, Mira, and you, Sayonartis, and he's gonna lean over to you very discreetly, Mira, and say, "You still have diamonds, right? Just in case."
Yo, yeah, right on hand. Right on hand.
Okay, perfect. Okay, wonderful.
I sip another lemonade.
He stands there, arms crossed, looking scared.
Sayonartis reaches over and just holds out like the popcorn bowl to for either of them to take some from.
Yeah. So, Winsler Wallaby, your foe, stands a nigh 5 feet away from you. What spell do you want to cast against Integrity Idleberry?
Okay. I don't want to hurt integrity, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cast Produce Flame and lob this flame in her general direction, not looking to like hit her with it.
Okay, wonderful. Integrity Idleberry, how do you respond to such a thing?
Here it comes. Look out.
As a flame
No,
conjures...
don't tell me that. I'm gonna close my eyes. Now do it again, and then I won't. Don't tell me.
All
and
right.
I will just like have like I will have the cane like on my hand, like ready to hit.
Yes.
Like a piñata.
Okay, it's not coming. I'm gonna use Produce Flame and throw another fireball.
Okay. Is that an attack roll or is that a saving throw?
It is an attack roll.
Okay. Integrity.
Yes.
How does what you want to do interact with that?
So as soon as sort of like I feel like the energy around me, like I
Yes.
try to like really conjure that. And as soon as I feel that, I'm going to sort of duck down and swing a bunch of times and try to topple Winsler.
Okay.
Like with a cane, drop him.
Okay. Make an attack roll then. I guess both of you make attack rolls.
Okay. That's a 19.
Oh, dang.
Oopsies.
Does an 18 hit?
Of course an 18 hit.
So, Winsler, you throw a very light, gentle little flame over towards Integrity, and with lightning quick reflexes, she reaches out and just like, Integrity, what does this cane attack do?
It's going to like super like fast hit Winsler in like the calf.
Okay.
Yikes.
And trip him.
Okay, perfect.
On his butt.
He turns
Wonderful,
invisible.
Winsler. The fire shoots out. You get hit immediately. Almost as soon as you cast the spell, you are hit on the calf, the cane cracking into your leg, and you fall into the puffy little snow here in the field.
Ah! And it like face like on his ass again, invisible.
Okay, perfect. Winsler immediately turns invisible. Artis puts a hand to his temple and goes, "Oh, goodness gracious."
Was that good?
You did great. Ah!
Okay, so do you want like the $5, like the 5 gold coins now, or do you want like multiple ones of this?
No, that depends if you're gonna hit me multiple times or not.
Okay, I'll try again to not hit you, okay? But I just like really want to do this,
Mhm.
don't worry, I won't use my knife for anything.
So, we see
All
a
right.
montage of Winsler casting a spell and Integrity reacting with immediacy or just generally trying to avoid the attack to the best of her ability as quickly
Ow.
as possible.
Ow.
This montage goes across days. The first day it might be Winsler, the second day it might be Mira, the third day it might be Sayonartis, and Artis does not participate in this as he is an old man and does not want to be injured before his
He
trip.
does not want his fucking leg to be like crucked under
Yeah.
him.
Integrity, while you do this, and like even in the mornings, you're just like practicing relentlessly against like the trees and such things, and in your mind, you're just like visualizing all the different magic users you've fought across the past year, from the duels, that magic or the mage that you had fought from the corruption, like people like Joan or people like Syndra, even from the duels that were able to use magic and like affect you in any way that they wanted to, and you were had no defenses to counteract it. But with your training, it seems that you are making a breakthrough. Integrity, what feat did you gain?
I gained Mage Slayer.
Fuck yeah, that's such a cool name.
Sick as hell. So what does that let you do? Opportunity attacks against people who cast spells and...
Yes. So opportunity attacks with people like that create spells that they will also have a disadvantage on the saving throw that they make to maintain the concentration.
Yep.
And I also have an advantage in saving throws against spells
that are within like
that
5
are cast by creatures.
Perfect. I think
Within 5 feet.
one of these days when you're out in the probably on like the 4th day when your friends don't really want to get beaten up by a cane in the snow, and you're just like shadow boxing essentially one of these trees with tons of crows, hundreds of crows watching over you. I think Artis will approach you quietly, trying not to make a big deal of things, and he'll say, "Integrity, can you walk with me for a second?"
Yeah.
And he'll pull you off a bit further into the woods outside the house. The snow's deeper here. It takes a little bit more energy to walk through it. It's still puffy and light, but nonetheless deep snow. And once you're kind of out of the earshot of the cottage, he'll look at you and say, "It concerns me to watch you practice how to injure people with magic with such vigor. And I just needed to check in for my own conscience that you aren't planning on, perchance, listening to the progenitor and doing anything about the cold one by chance? That's not what this is about."
No. Over the past year, we've just been, like, I've been focusing very much on fighting physically, but we keep on interacting with people with magic, and I've always felt so useless around my friends. They're all so strong and magical, and all I can really offer is, being fast and hiding away from the people that we fight. But yeah, I'm not planning on that.
Okay.
How did you keep yourself from doing anything all these years with the orb?
You mean to say when the progenitor tempts me, yes?
Yeah.
Well, I can only say that for me, I was never up against anything dangerous. Not until you all poked around, stirred up the bee's nest. I never found myself in moments of danger. And so any offers for power, they fell upon deaf ears. And any offers for, I don't know if he's offered it to you, but, and he'll kind of like bite his tongue for a second and then look at you, Integrity, and be like, he offered for me, at the very least, I don't know if you've gotten a similar one, to bring back people from the dead for me. Which is difficult. That's the closest I've come to being tempted. But I do, as foolish as it might sound, I have to believe that she isn't actually dead out there. And that's what kept me from agreeing to any of those deals. Even in moments of weakness, they were just offers of things that I knew couldn't be done. And even then, a creature bound in the stone of the school itself, I don't know how much influence it exerts over our world. That's why the other day when you had mentioned that a piece of it you had fought it and been victorious, I didn't imagine that was a possibility. I truly did not think it had any power outside of the visions, the dreams that it used to give me.
I know. Me either. I did not expect to see any part of the progenitor out here in our world, but I did, and it was very painful. Like, after we killed it, I felt immense pain.
Do you mean to say that the progenitor was trying to hurt you for betraying it or something like that?
I just know that after we hurt the progenitor, that he was in a lot of pain after we killed at least a part of him. And like once we were brought back to the hatch, like I just felt like being pulled towards the hatch, like wanting to hurt me, but also like it's hard to explain.
My thought is that, I mean, I never thought that the progenitor had any power, to be honest with you. I thought it had the power to give us dreams and try to speak evil into our brains, but I did not believe it had any true power. I believe the orbs themselves had some sort of curse just because of my own sickness whenever mine was taken from me, but I do not believe the progenitor to be a powerful being. And now, hearing that you, the four of you, can destroy a small piece of it at the very least, I feel as though my belief is justified. I don't believe that it's as strong as it wants you to believe integrity. And maybe by destroying a small part of it, you took away much of its power to hurt you.
Yeah, I hope so.
Please don't give in to what it asks you to do. That is my own... I feel like I'm asking quite a bit in leaving the four of you for however long I'm going to be away, but if nothing else, you can knock down as many doors as you want, you can skip as many classes as you want, you can fail exams and break rules and treat whoever is your new supervisor with complete disregard, but please do not do what it wants you to do.
Yes. I'm very sorry that, because it sounds like we've put you through a lot and we've just like caused trouble ever since we got here, and
No.
especially me.
It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. No. Don't say things like that. And he'll put a hand on your shoulder and he'll say, I sat around doing nothing. Mourning the death. See, this is the complex part. Mourning my wife, mourning my loss of her. And in reality, there was more I could have done to prevent anyone else finding these things. I knew that there was another orb sitting down there waiting. I knew that there was two, and I missed someone else taking the other one, obviously. That's how we ended up in the situation of having the cold one. And I failed in my duty to make sure no harm fell to anyone else. So you, being a warlock, you having to go through all this, all the pain that you four have endured over the past year is, at the end of the day, on my shoulders.
No.
It is. Please. And you are quite strong, even if you don't believe yourself to be so. I could never have stood in your shoes and made it out. Just please don't do what it asks of you. And he will take his hand off and turn to walk back to the cottage. As the birds in the trees around you, Integrity, go, I, and scream at you. They took a moment and allowed the silence to fill this little stand of trees as you and Artis had a quiet conversation. But now they break that silence and continue being a rowdy bunch of birds. And you can walk back to the cottage with the rest of your friends. Finally, Sayonartis Cinderman, how would you like to paint us a word picture?
I imagine one evening, everyone's already had supper, People are doing whatever they wish to do inside the cottage, and Serenep has taken to do something that she sometimes does, taught Mira to do, is go outside and meditate for a little bit.
Yes.
And the birds have been infrequent with when they will start to chant. It seems that today is one of those days where, as she has kind of gone into this space of calm, is when the birds start up again.
Yes.
And it completely takes her out of it.
Just screeching from the door, or from the roof of the house and the nearby trees. They sit on like the remains of bushes that are next to the house. They're so loud and very, very tiresome, Sayonartis.
And yeah, it was just one of the days where she didn't get a lot of sleep the night before. It's just been a lot of stress suddenly popped up suddenly in her head of like everything that's happening outside of the cottage right now. And that point, she stands up, walks to like the little center of this clearing where the garden is, and yells to the birds and to the heavens to shut up. Just shut up.
Okay. The birds fall silent and look at you in a very judgmental manner before flying off towards the front of the house. There's a bit of silence. Part of you feels as though you'd have better luck if you took a few foot, like not even 20 feet into the woods itself. And almost it feels like Sayonartis, the woods, the forest itself is, I don't know. It's appealing on this day more than any other day.
Yeah, I think just in this moment of like all the chaos happening, that
Yeah.
nature has kind of become a source of comfort for her over the last while. So she starts just going into the woods.
Absolutely. You can walk for as long as you would like to, and almost immediately you find serenity and silence amidst the woods themselves. The snow is deep and almost comes up over the top of your boots that you have, but is a bit easy to walk through. It's light and fluffy, and you can walk for a time until you find a small part of the forest where the canopy is so thick that barely any snow has fallen here. You can almost see the dirt and dead grass peeking up through, indicating that spring is soon to be here. And would you like to sit here and meditate for some time?
Yep.
Okay. You sit and cross your legs, close your eyes, and kind of just focus on breathing, letting your worries, fears, other things just wash over your mind and leave, if only for a few moments. And you feel a deep connection with the land itself, with the trees around you, with the non-warlock related birds that do linger despite the winter temperatures and snow. And all around you, you can just feel life brimming under the surface of the snow, waiting again for spring so that they can break through and begin anew. And you just feel very in tune with nature in this moment. Sayonartis, what feat did you take?
I took on the feat Fey Touched, which gives me a couple of interesting spells.
Yes.
Though I did not use it here. Am I able to
I'm curious.
say it?
Yeah, I would love to know what you took.
So, the spell that they give you the option for, I chose Speak with Animals. And for the spell that I learn with this feat is Misty Step.
Ooh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And so, relaxing here in the meditating here in the woods, you stay for some time until someone else calls after you, just to check that you didn't wander off and like freeze to death in the forest or something. And at that point, all of your thoughts just break back through. The connection lessens, but never goes away. That feeling of life all around you, and you can return back to the cottage. So, as the days fly by, as Winsler, you learn that you could get hit and turn invisible, as Integrity practices her very best to kill mages where they stand. Mira, you kind of learning meditation. I don't know if meditation comes easy to Mira, does it?
No, it
I should ask
doesn't.
that.
And I think that's why she needs this practice.
Okay. Yeah, okay, wonderful. But the couple of days of meditation, learning how to meditate in the first place, breathing, focusing on not the worries in your head, and then focusing on like the arcane center within yourself and using that. And then finally, Sayonartis, communing, in a sense, with nature in this small way at the very least. The days pass, you do these things, and such goes on. As the end of the week approaches, and so too does Artis's departure, I think there is one particular night, maybe the night before, right? The night before he leaves, or like the night before, the eve of the eve, right? He is sitting with many of these books. Every single day he's returned from the archives from campus with 8 more books. He's increasingly growing frustrated because, as he said, he does not read the language of giant, nor does he read many languages. He knows a fair few to his credit, but not every language. So he has assembled a small collection, a small library of books borrowed from the archives, but on one night he will exclaim, just like leaning back and kind of sighing deeply, and he will say, "You all have brains, right? You all learned how to research, and you're quite competent at this, right? You're much more hip with these things than I. I never. Do any of you speak giant, or can any of you help me with this? I'm losing my mind in silence over here, and I know you're all relaxing before you start the semester, and I hate to spring a surprise research project on you, but I'm trying to find anything about giants in the desert or anything of the like, and I can't find a single thing in all of these books."
I don't really speak giant, so I can't exactly help you there, but
I can't read giant myself, but I can, if there were any other, if there's like translated transcripts, I could go through those.
There's translated transcripts. They're just nonsense, though, to my understanding, though. Mira, do you speak giant? I know you took magical language classes.
No. I mean, Integrity read some giant on the door when we were in the plains, but that's and I heard some giant music. If that's the extent of it.
He looks to you, Integrity.
Yeah, I can understand what I read.
Could you translate things?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect then. All right. I have 2 days left with you as my students to help me with my research, and this is my research. Integrity, can you please start translating things so that the rest of us can get on with this? I'm so sick of reading these same pages. And if you would all like to join Artis in doing some research, we can have a wonderful little evening research of Integrity translating things and the rest of you parsing through some stuff. Does that sound acceptable?
Yes.
By any means?
I want to see what the books say.
In this case, we can enter into one of our very typical research sections of the podcast. You know them and you love them. Integrity Idleberry,
Yes.
as the only person who reads giant, you will be in charge of translating things. The rest of you can just generally use whatever skills you would like in order to parse through the translated versions. However, everything will be contingent on how well Integrity Idleberry rolls. You can help her if you would like to, if you have a creative way to do so, as you all pile around the coffee table and get to reading.
I have an idea that might be interesting.
Okay, let's hear it.
While it's not exactly like directly sort of assisting or like taking in what Integrity is saying usually, like I think Windsor will take in that as like, okay, this is something to consider. Using that information, maybe sort of cross-referencing giant literature with sort of like the gnomish language.
Okay.
Because gnomes and giants had that sort of relationship. So I wonder,
Wonderful.
somewhere down the line, did these languages evolve to sort of be similar to one another? So maybe cross-reference these two, see what's similar, see what isn't, maybe see if they could be translated that way.
Wonderful. So, with Winsler aiding in this way, adding the gnomish flair to the giant saute, Integrity Idleberry?
Yes.
Could you make a, what would be adequate? A history check for me.
History.
Please and thank you. Or, if there's another skill on your list of skills that you think would be best used to translate in Miss Integrity Attleberry, by all means, you can make the argument for it.
I think history is the one that makes the most sense.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah, because
In
I'm
that
not going to use
case-
sleight of hand for this. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. In that case, make a history check with advantage for me.
Okay. Okay. That is a 19.
Wonderful. So, in that case, you are able to translate over the course of like the evening. You do find, as Winsler pointed out, as you do research back to the roots of these languages and the where to start unraveling them and doing this translation, because you do have your Eyes of the Rune Keeper, which allows you to read the language, but there is a lack of complete understanding as you just read what is literally written and not always
The context.
the context of what it means. But with Winsler's help, occasionally referencing with him of gnomish expression or just general syntax used, you are able to roughly, I will say, translate, let's say, 5 texts over the course of the night for your friends to examine.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. It's a very rough translation, however. So that will impact the rest of you and your roles. That being said, as Integrity turns into a translating machine and starts handing out books and being like, here's what this one says, here's what this one says, and full pages of stuff written out about the translation of them, how do the rest of you want to go about ascertaining some giant information from these translated texts? What skill do you think would be a fun and relevant one to use?
Could see that, like, you may not be able to understand giant words and such, but if you were to like find similar words and put them together or see how often they come up, you could probably tell what this word might mean. Like, this could be like a connection thing in a sentence. Like, this word could be this word could be of, this word could be and, a, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Because that would be easier than figuring out what it's like actually written, and more of like, how is the sentence structure laid out?
Okay. So in that case, Winsler, if you make this roll, I will upgrade your guys' rough translation to a more polished translation, and in turn give more information to those, which would be Mira and Sayonartis, who are actually going to be reading and kind of trying to interpret these texts.
They're the smart ones.
What skill do you want to use, Ben? Because we just used history, so you would be rolling at disadvantage if you chose to use that again.
Okay. I'm thinking here.
Insight.
Oh.
Insight could
That's
be a good one.
actually a really good option because you're trying to intuit deeper meaning of the words than just what is surface level written. In that case, make an insight roll for me, Ben.
Let's try
Winsler.
that. That's not bad. We could get mileage out of that. That's a non-natural 20.
Oh, that's actually very good. Perfect. Okay. Winsler, using this technique of like trying to find commonly occurring words and sequences especially, you can find deeper meanings and make better connections. And you, as the second member of the translation pipeline, Integrity hands a sheet of paper to you, almost as if she is just a typewriter churning them out, and you yourself just immediately go to town looking for repeated sequences, the patterns you've already identified, and then you can pass the more polished translated copies over to the power duo of Mira and Sayonartis.
Hell yeah.
The two of you are wonderful interpretive experts of the giant histories. What skills do you think you would like to use? How do Mira and Sayonartis like process this information?
I feel like perception might be useful here because I feel like what I'm doing is looking for keywords that Great might have used around me or things that I've heard a lot about. I think that my way of doing things is I initially just skim everything very quickly and just highlight any words that are meaningful to me. And then when I find those spots, I come back and look in more depth.
Okay, perfect. In that case, make a perception roll.
This is like training from like Mira's father.
All right.
It is.
That's not a very useful technique.
Oh no.
So the total is a 6 from a base roll of 2.
Oh, Mira. Does anyone? Okay. Yeah, we can work with a 6 actually. So Mira, this well translated copy of some giant texts. This is a book called, as translated by Integrity and Winsler, Architectural Fixations of the Ancient Giant World. And this rolls across your the table in front of you, Mira, and you go through and you're like, oh, this is important. This is like what Gray was talking about, and you highlight it. And then like next sentence, like, oh, this is also important. Highlight it. Next one, highlight.
Oh, dear.
It's
And
just
by the
a
end of it,
completely-
all of you could look over every single sentence. It is almost as if there is less stuff not highlighted.
I fucking cast fairy fire on that page.
Oh my god, the page is like
Oh, that's
all
spectacular.
the same color.
It's just everything's just sparkling. And Mira, you look at it and you're like, in your mind, you're just like, there's something here. I just can't see it.
I have to crack the code.
But you did roll a 6. And you still, as an interpreter of this information, are allowed to ask one question, and I will give you an answer based on how well you rolled. What is a question you would like to answer about the ancient giants, as it pertains to what artists would like help with, which is giants in the desert?
How would you describe their relationship to the Shiorans, generally speaking?
Mira, as you look through the architectural pieces, you see a lot of reference to, there's a word, it doesn't really make sense, and it has been translated very well, but it at least in the giant runes in the original text, if you were to look, it looks very serpentine as a like symbol, which is like a lot of what the ancient giant texts utilize to communicate. And so like this very serpentine symbol, which just in Winsler and Integrity's translation has been translated to like something very foolish, like Southern, right? And it just makes not a lot of sense a lot of the times you see it, and it's just like relating to Southern, and there seems to be some discussion. It's a brief sentence. It's one of the ones you didn't highlight, which is something about Southern architects needed badly. And cross-referencing and understanding that there's this serpentine symbol that seems to be Southern, that is what you can glean very usefully from this interpretive experience you do. I hope that was absolutely vague as possible.
It is. I have no fucking clue what you just said.
I'm glad. Mira needs to like get that highlighting game down, you know?
That's fair.
Next, Sayonartis Cinderman.
Yo.
What skill would you like to use to try to interpret these translated texts and help out your mentor and maybe some?
I feel like a useful skill to use in this would be religion, because of how ingrained religion is for the giants and their like certain their system of life and everything like that. So I think you'll use that.
Make a religion check for me then, Sayonartis Cinderman.
It dinged.
I also imagine all of you looking very stressed as you sit around this square table.
Yes.
So that
Integrity has not read this much in her life.
so that's an 18.
Okay, an 18. Sayonartis, using religion, you collect very many little pieces, and you can skim very effectively, not relying on highlighting, just going until you see something, a word relating to religion, such as clergy, such as priest, such as like any kind of like evoking religion words in this general context. You find a fragment that is repeated quite frequently that seems to be pertaining to religion. That is Getula, the paradise city of giants. And in some cases, this is referred to as almost like a metaphorical city of giants. In other places, it's a very literal place.
Okay.
But none
Very
of the texts you find seem to say where it is or if it's even a like actual place. Again, like some things are vague enough that you could interpret them to be that.
Okay.
So I think I just gave that to you for your good roll. But you did roll well. Do you have a specific question you want addressed by your interpretation of the text to help out artists?
I think my question would be does the book have any specific landmarks that it brings up that would help navigate?
That's a very good question. Absolutely. You now knowing that you're looking for the location of a city, you can go back to the beginning and start skimming through this probably like 40 pages of very like large written text, and you notably see the words Bay of Nests, southwest from the Bay of Nests, south of the Highlands, and east of the sea, which you can put together.
Okay.
Intriguing.
Did any of you want to discuss such things, or would we like to continue interpreting?
Let's continue interpreting.
Okay.
Because we need to pick up the slack where some of us
Dang.
we're
brutal
slacking a bit.
So, tell me, everyone, what it looks like as you guys work through this, because we've gone through this in a very crunchy method, but I want to have a brain picture of what this looks like, and how everyone's dealing and coping with their successes and failures.
I imagine that Sayonartis has, with kind of reading through like location stuff, has taken a blank piece of paper and is sort of making a very crude map of like southeast of this, north of this, south of this, like kind of like putting down like the landmark blocks of like what this is talking about.
Winsler's almost like factory line, just like looking at one book in the other, and like looking at some things in the other hand and putting them down and like moving off between different books and stuff. Just like it's like very fluid.
Yes. Mira, the pile of pages next to you that Winsler is placing down is growing larger and larger and larger, and it almost forces you to rush a little bit. That might account for some of your highlighting mistakes. Is there anything other particular notes about what Mira is visually going through in this moment? And what's she look like as she's doing her thing?
Okay, Google Pepe Sylvia.
Okay, wonderful. Perfect. Does Mira find research like this engaging?
It's hard not to be engaged in it. That's what I'll say.
Okay. In that case, you can look around at your friends who are deeply engaged, and you can carry on almost out of necessity. And Integrity Idleberry, what does your kind of interpretation beginning look like?
Well, I feel like Integrity is just like super stressed with like I need to get as much interpretation out as much as I can, so that because like I'm like, I guess you could say like the limiting factor, because things are going through me. So like just like staring and trying to do it, like translate, sipping coffee like in a straw. And in some ways, I guess like trying to sort of make sense of the words as well, but because the rough copy does not, or the better, like the fixed version, that
the polished one,
is like, it doesn't go through her, like maybe like she's having like a harder time, but she is trying as much as she can.
All right, then we can carry on for just a single round more. In that case, Integrity and Winsler, please make history and insight checks once more for me.
Of course.
To determine the second round, the quality of your interpretation as the night carries on into the nearing midnight.
Do I still have advantage for this?
Because Winsler is assisting you, yes.
Ooh, a nat 20 plus history, 24.
That is very good news for the people down the line. Winsler Wallaby.
19.
A 19. So I will upgrade this. So this started in polished, and now I will turn it to being accurate and reliable.
Hell yeah. Love to see it.
Which for Mira and Sayonartis will grant you advantage on your subsequent investigations. So, Mira first, the pile next to you grows ever in size, but your friends seem to be getting the hang of it, and the things that you are now looking at seem to be ever more sensible. How do you want to interpret these things? Is there a different skill you'd like to use?
I keep trying to think of like wild ways to like justify sleight of hand or some shit, but like okay, now what if Mira writes a song about it? Is that performance?
What if there was a what? Okay, sleight of hand though. What if there was, say, a small map of sorts that you are trying to do some sort of like cartographic process on? I could argue that could be sleight of hand if you'd like to use it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
If you would like to, then you can roll sleight of hand and decrypt this map that Winsler has handed over to you. And the joy of a map is that only the labels needed to be translated.
That's
Nice.
true. That's a slightly better roll. That's an 11 plus 4. That's a 15.
Oh, girl.
It's not a 6.
That was with advantage?
Oh,
my
sorry.
gosh.
Shit, yeah.
Goodness gracious. Please, come
Still
on.
a 15.
Still a 15?
Yeah, the other roll was a 7
Oh
plus.
my god.
Okay. Well, in that case, Mira Marchand, you look at this map. You can ascertain the rough dimensions of it by your estimation and using your sleight of hand and such things and like a compass. You can quickly ascertain that it is in Western Agia. That enough is clear.
That's good.
What question do you have that I will answer for you?
What is the biggest physical danger in this area?
There is a set of mountains towards the southwest of the map you are looking at that all seem to be, and it is distinctly a pictographic map. And so around this area, you see both a large depiction of a city, but also a large, almost like what looks like rumbling sands around it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this little mountain range with rumbling sands, it looks like. And so you might interpret that as like the sand or dirt here is unsteady. It's one of the few areas on the map that is not visibly located around trees. So
Okay, that's something.
that's
something.
That's
Where the worms are.
That's where the worms live. So you can point that out to artists if you'd like.
It's where the wormies
I
are.
shall.
And so then, finally, Sayonartis Cinderman, give us our final interpretive roll.
The final
With
roll.
advantage, please. What would you like to roll? What are you checking for now in the newly, very nicely translated copies of this?
Has Arcana been used yet?
Arcana hasn't come up once,
I'm
no.
gonna go with Arcana this time.
Okay, perfect. So you're trying to intuit magical incantations and meanings to these
Yeah.
words. Go ahead and roll.
Okay. And okay.
Oh, no.
I did okay. I got an 18.
Okay. Yeah, an 18. Looking through this, there seems to be few references to the truly arcane, but there is a lot of reference to divine magics. So, that being said, as you look through these final couple of pages, as Mira next to you deciphers a map, and is like, there's worms that live here. What question do you have for me that I can answer for you?
My question would be around, like, if any magics were put in place. Like, if they're, like, because we have a rough idea of location and such.
Yes.
I guess the next question would be, like, what magics are dormant here?
Okay. In that case, Sayonartis Cinderman, queuing off of what you found last time as well, I think that you can find reference to incantations of protection surrounding and you see that little snake symbol thing that's just southern city and the sunken valley, the paradise of giants. You see that again.
Okay.
You read that there is protective incantations about those things, and that is it. And as you do these readings, as Mira, you decrypt this map, and you, Winsler and Integrity, run out of things to translate, artists will look up at all of you from a book written in common, and you'll say, this is growing increasingly frustrating. This book is just convinced of telling me about trees which used to exist in the desert that there's found fossils of, but I don't find how that's anything useful to me. Have you found anything over on your end?
I think, I don't know, I found, like, some rough location guides for a place called the Paradise of Giants.
Okay. Do you think that I could travel there before the end of summer? Or is it, do you think too far away? Do you know the exact location or just a general area?
I have, and I'll kind of hand him the rough
absolutely.
drawing of, like, of just, like, the different, like, names of the parts that they give and, like, that stuff. Like,
Yes.
I mean, this is
the general western edge of the continent.
and
And
if you, and, like,
nod.
If he has his map out, maybe we can try and like figure out like, okay, so this is called like the nest. So let's see on your map if that connects up anywhere.
And Mira, I assume you want to share your danger locations and such things.
The sand pits.
Yes.
Yes.
The map that you were looking at seems to be a wayfarer's map of sorts. So such a thing is common. He can look at these things and kind of intuit this, and he leans back in his chair and will go, this seems far outside the scope of just the being in the same trip as what I'm already planning on. I assume that I could either travel here to the west, far west. This is much further west than I was planning on going, and I think it's a lot more time consuming to travel through the desert to these places that you found. But do you think that it would be worthwhile? You're the ones who had the experiences with this kind of giant interlaced stuff on the moon. Do you think it's a worthwhile rock to turn over? Or should I just stick to the plans I already have?
I mean, how did you plan this out? Was it from Fidan's research?
Yes, generally. I used some of the things that she had spoken about in some of her journals that weren't listed as expedition areas overtly by anyone else, and I was planning on journeying to those places. But if there's other secrets that are held further west, I wonder if that could be more beneficial to solving things in the present day, maybe, as opposed to, I don't know, chasing after her.
I mean, it might be useful to go and check that out, but I would say maybe only get involved with that stuff if you've got time to do it, and also to like make sure that it's like safe, because giant stuff was unpredictable. We don't really know much about it other than what we've experienced, and it's been kind of treacherous in some cases. So if you feel like you're okay going to do that and you've got time to, probably worth looking into, but I wouldn't risk going to some place you're not familiar with, and if it's not worth it.
Yeah, 'cause last time we did that, we ended up in a maze for 2 weeks. So.
But you went and interacted
Especially
with
with
giants who were living, though. Presumably these ones wouldn't be alive, right? That must...
It's hard to say. They've been around for a really long time, apparently.
I've only studied giants in so far as it relates to elemental magic. You all remember the Heart of Gold and Precious Set and those such things, but this is all a bit more foreign to me. If I wish that I had, I don't know, more time to go to all these places that we found and more. The desert's too large for any one person to search by themselves.
Well, so you said that you didn't want to, or you couldn't go with other people because you're sort of limited in resources.
Yes, my funding only goes so far.
Okay, Integrity like goes to her bag.
Yeah.
And she's going to grab 200 gold coins.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Okay.
And, well, if you find that this is like worthwhile, like let's say you're going around and there's something that leads you to believe that you have to go further out west, I don't want you to not go just because you don't have enough funding, you don't have enough support from people, and I want you to be safe. And this information that you're getting, it also helps us. So I want you to take this. I want you to be safe, and I want you to, if Fidan's out there, I know that you have hope, and we are hoping too. So yeah, here's my gift for all the frustrating things I've done, and you can call them reparations, but I don't think they're reparations. They're more so, I just want you to be safe, and I want you to have a good time.
You hand this gold over, or put it, maybe just a pouch of it, onto the table itself, and he'll look at it and look at you and say, that will go a fair distance in terms of funding things. I didn't have a lot of spare change sitting around, and I made less than I wanted from all of the junk in the house. But and he'll tentatively grab it, and he'll say, "You're 100%. I don't mean to be begging for money from my own students. You're certain?"
Yes, take it.
Thank you very
100%.
Thank you so much.
I think in seeing that Integrity is kind of giving something extra to Artis, she thinks this is the perfect time to go upstairs and pick up a little project she was trying to work on in the
over the course of the couple days.
in
Yeah.
between other things. It's not pretty. It is a very rough first attempt at jewelry making.
Okay.
From the quills that she kind of accumulated from Virgil for the couple of days that they were in Troil. But she comes back downstairs with she used the chain from what was her family brooch that now just kind of sits in her bag now, and she put a couple of those quills on the end, and she comes back downstairs and she holds it out to him and says, I was doing some research a while ago, and they said that amethysts are really good for stress and for the symptoms of stress, and so I kind of wanted to make you something as thank you for letting me stay here. And so
of course.
So yeah, and I hold it out to him.
He will take it, thankfully, and bow his head a little bit, and then place it over his own head and neck and let it sit there. And he says, "I thank you so much. I didn't get any of you parting gifts or anything.
No need.
I didn't really think of it. I'm so sorry."
I mean, us being here for the last week has been sort of a good gift, you know? Like, we all got to spend time together.
It's been nice.
It has. It has been
Kind of a
quite
proper send-off.
This past year has been much less lonely than many others in my life. And I thank you all for that quite a bit. It is not a very pleasant thing to think of being alone in the desert again or in the future, but thank you all for helping me and seeing me on my way. I'm going to leave around tomorrow, so if there's anything else you wanted to talk to me about, I'll be around in the morning and afternoon generally, and then I'll be heading out, but thank you all very much. And he'll kind of recline, sit back. He has a very gentle expression upon his elven face. He's pale as hell here in the winter light, and his dark hair is pulled back with a yellow ribbon. But it's late at night, and all of you can get some rest after trying to disentangle some old giant books for the better part of the evening. And I'll ask, because I saw you guys chatting around about something earlier today. Is there anything you want to do for Artis on the final day before he leaves on his trip?
I think we should cook a nice goodbye dinner.
Yeah.
Cook a dinner.
Well, Mira Marchand, in that case, being the proactive young half-elf you are, tell us then, what kind of dinner do you want to cook for him? What do you cook? What do you do?
We have to figure out what ingredients we can get where we are.
Yeah.
Forest mushrooms.
There might be some mushrooms around.
Buried under the snow.
Sure. So, Winsler scurries off into the wilds to find some mushrooms. Mira, is there a particular ingredient that you find in this location? Like, what are you looking for? Like, what kind of meal are you imagining?
I think that we should make like a big like a hot pot or something like that. Something that we can all enjoy around a big table collectively.
Okay.
And so any kind of, whether it is like little spring onions starting to pop up out of the ground or anything like that, if there's any crocuses starting to pop out, we can harvest them for saffron, make a little bit of nice spice for the food.
Hey, Mira. Do you need meat for that?
Meat would be great. I don't know where we're gonna get it here.
I'm gonna run around and look for if there's some kind of.
You look to the trees and find the crows.
There's a ton of birds in the trees. You can kill one of your birds if you want. That's fucking brutal. They'd all see you do it.
I'm gonna run around. Maybe there's some Okay, is this cruel to like hunt for meat? Like hunt for
I mean, inherently
Something?
hunting is not cruel, but I don't know what you're looking. Are you looking for like a rabbit?
like a rabbit
something?
or like a
Uh-huh.
like a
Give me a survival check.
okay.
Gosh.
Rabbit.
As Winsler gets little mushrooms and such things, Mira, you can collect your general sprouting little vegetables in a small basket of your own. Integrity, survival. How did you do?
I got 19.
Nice.
Oh,
In
boy.
that case, you all see Integrity return with some butchered pieces of meat. Maybe she found a butcher shop out in the
Yeah.
woods. You know,
Perhaps.
maybe that's what happened. It seems to be a rabbit of some sort, though.
Hello,
she
I am
can-
the wandering meat salesman.
Yes. Nonetheless, Integrity, you can return with such
gosh.
things. And Sayonartis, is there a particular food that you contribute to this as well?
I-
This conjured meal together.
I think something nice might be some like roasted nuts. So I think she would kind of go out and go to some of the trees that are trying to start the next year. Maybe like scavenge in the
Mhm.
snow, see, pick up some like nuts
Yeah,
to be able
okay.
to roast.
Absolutely. You can all do so easily, Mira, masterminding the whole affair, of course. And generally, the evening proceeds. You can present your dish and meal to Artis Artesian. Is there any specific pomp and circumstance you add to this entire affair, Mira?
Okay, so we all worked really hard together to make this nice for you. Just because I remember when we were staying in your cottage last summer, there was like no food around, and I don't even feel like this place has ever been like used to make something tasty. And so we wanted to end the night off with like something really nice, something to remember, and you know it's a little cleaned up. So when you're ready to come back here, you'll know you can make good things here. And I just thought it would be nice. We were all supposed to sit around and kind of dip and things like that. It's all communal and stuff. We used to have this at home when all my sisters were at home, and so it's really big it's good for a big group.
Thank you so much. It's been a long time since there was a proper home-cooked meal here. I swear there was actual food here at one time, but yes, let's eat, and then we'll have to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you can all sit for what feels like too short and partake in the excellent hot pot and some roasted nuts. There is meat of unknown origin within it that is tender, if a bit stringy, and maybe you might stretch it out to be at 2 hours at the most.
Mhm.
I think at one point, very discreetly, Mira, Artis will lean to you and will say, please keep this secret. I know that all of you know how to get here and can come here anytime you like, and he will slide on the floor a small brass key to you, and he will say, after I leave, if you could lock up just in case anyone wandering by in the area doesn't break in while I'm gone, I would appreciate it. And
I'll pick it up under the table with my mage
Yes.
hand and give him a little thumbs up. Just
Wonderful.
kind of slide it into my
yes,
pocket.
discreet like. And he'll lean back and continue basking in the presence of his students for far too short of a time. And eventually, the food is done. The
Delicious. Mwah.
night is approaching, and Artis will, almost with a reluctance, stand up from the table and walk over to the front door, where he has a large bag packed, as well as a big trunk that he is bringing with him, archaeological equipment, notebooks, some of the books that you had all found and the translations thereof, and he will, accompanied by the four of you, go at the front door, walk over to his nearby handy-dandy teleportation circle off in that thicket of woods, the one that all of you guys used to come here to revive him in the first place not too long ago, and he will stand upon it and look at the four of you, and he will say, well, I hope that your second years at Wildcliff is peaceful and productive. Don't forget to check in, and I will send you anything that I find interesting, relevant.
All right. Well, be safe on your journey. We'll be thinking of you.
Yeah, stay safe.
Hi.
You know, you can always reach out to us if you need
Absolutely.
anything. I hope you find things you like to see. I know that isn't the point of this mission. I know it's about closure and all of that, but you're going to be traveling to some really new spots, and I know that it's sad and I know that it's dangerous, but I hope you find things that make you smile when you're out there too.
I'm sure it won't be half as dangerous as you or I are imagining, but yes, I it's a part of me that I haven't felt live in many years, to be heading out on an expedition uncertain of what I will find. So that part, at the very least, I am looking forward to, Mira. Yes.
Oh, and thanks for always being a great mentor. I hope when you do come back, you know, you'll see what we've been up to and we'll make you proud.
Integrity's just watching all of this, crying in the background.
Aw.
Serenep is like patting her shoulder and like also just smiling.
And he will, I guess, then nod to the two of you and will say, Serenep, stay safe with everything considered. Please, I know you're cautious, but please just be careful.
Yeah.
And Integrity. And he nods at you, kind of like, you know, thinking back to that conversation you had a few days ago. All right. I wish all of you well in your new year, and I will see you, hopefully, this summer or sooner. And he will hold up his hand, and you see a small purple glow to the teleportation circle, and then a pop, and then your mentor is no more, as he is gone to the first step of his
He's no more?
journey. He
No
died.
more.
You see
He's
his disintegrated ashes on the ground.
He's away
Mira.
from us for 2 seconds.
No!
Happened
2 seconds.
again.
So, as you all stand here in the snow, watching your mentor having left, I hope that you feel very prepared and ready for the new year to come.
We're gonna do great.
We're,
We're gonna make him proud.
Oh, God.
we're gonna be fantastic and hopefully
Yeah.
not break into any more buildings, right, guys? And she looks specifically at Winsler and Integrity.
I can't make any promises.
Oh, now he's
Hey,
crying.
they're there. They're there.
This will be a great
Yep,
year
okay.
for all of us!
Everyone's getting pulled into a group hug immediately.
Yes. So you can all hug as Integrity and Winsler Ball and Mira might be a bit more subtle. And in Sayonartis, cracking wise, we will leave our students
Crying.
crying, hugging in a field, and we'll pick up next time when they're second years. And the school is in
Yay.
session.
Like
Sarah,
we get to pick our classes.
Sarah, can you give us an outro, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We all hope that you enjoyed this episode of Trials and Shrubs, saying goodbye to artists and christening in our new year. If you did, it would mean so much for us if you were to leave a review or rating on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcatcher app you use. We read every single one. They really mean so much to us. It's honestly incredible. And for those of you who would like to see teasers, fan art, maps, and other exclusive content, you can check us out on Instagram or Twitter at Trials and Trebs. And if you would like to speak with us and other listeners and just join a really cool community, we even have a Discord server, and you can find that in our episode descriptions. It's a great space, really cool time, lots of just amazingly skilled fan artists, fanfic writers, like really, really cool stuff.
Really
like
fucking pop off.
highly advocate it. Let's see. For those of you who want to be a little bit extra generous and want to spare a few dollars, we have 2 ways for you to do that. The first is Patreon. That is going to be patreon.com/trialsandtrebs. And to be a patron, you only need to give as little as $1 a month, and what that will allow is, depending on your tier, certain benefits like being able to listen to conversations in catapults and bonus episodes early, getting to vote on bonus episodes, getting to see DM notes, bloopers, and even make your own student NPC.
Yes.
Who knows? We might even see some of these as we enter back to the new
That
year.
would be
So get them
crazy.
in now, folks. And finally, we have merch.
Yes,
That's going to
merch.
be stickers, t-shirts, stickers, t-shirts, stickers and t-shirts.
M-E-R-C-H.
And you can find that at shredmerch.com.
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 All right.
Shredmerch.com.
Thanks, Sarah. Thank you, everyone, for listening to these couple of episodes. I know they're a bit slow, but I hope you enjoyed them. Next time, we'll pick up with our wonderful second years and another new arc. Until then, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye.